Yeah, sure.
So how did you get associated with Bunkheads? How did this whole thing come together?
So Bunkheads is really a passion project for like Lauren, Gabe, and Will, who all kind of each had their own roles. Lauren, the director, Gabe, the producer, and Will, the writer. But of course, when you're doing something independently like that, those roles tend to overlap. And they wanted to make something of their own and work together on something. So it really started with them. And then from there, they ran it just really, sort of like a very standard professional way. So as an actor, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm pretty sure we all just auditioned like you would for, almost any TV show that we would go out for a part. And they liked us, and, we had our auditions and our callbacks, and they sort of tested out our chemistry, and they decided that we were their favorite choices, and they went with us. So that's pretty much it.
Did you audition for a specific character, or was it just kind of a general audition for maybe fitting into any of the roles?
I remember being called in specifically to audition for the role that I got, Tiff. So they were looking at me for that role right from the start, and I remember in the auditions Lauren being there and sort of feeling like, oh, good, she seems to like get my sense of humor. She seems to be laughing at the things I'm doing, so it feels like it's going well. And then they called me back. I don't think I was ever considered for anybody else.
And as far as the role itself, how much of that was strictly the script, and how much of it was your input?
Definitely, how I like to do things as an actor anyway, it's always fun to do some improv on set or to like bring your own ideas to the table. But I think it's important to start from what's written down in the script. And Will did a really great job with all the characters, I think. And so most of what's there is scripted, even though we did get chances to play around on set and add things or tweak things or whatever. But most of it's pretty much what was written.
And how much of that is filmed with inside the bunker itself, and how often did you get to go outside for location shoots?
We only went on location once for like one day. Almost everything else we did was in this bunker, which was this amazing set that they had built themselves. And they came up with this really brilliant idea of how to like make basically use one set of the bunker and be two rooms of it, sort of. So like everything you see that's in like the common area or everything that's in like the sleeping area is actually the same set, just with like the pieces moved in and out and sort of the camera angles changed to make it look like it's a bigger bunker than it actually is. And then we had one day outside where we just shot all of our outdoor scenes right in a row. So it really kind of was like living in a bunker for a couple of weeks.
Did the actual like coloring of the bunker and the restrictive signs kind of help you as an actor get into that mindset of being trapped in this small confined space with people that you may or may not particularly like?
I think it kind of does because it can be really like if you're an actor and let's say you're in this massive like hangar of a studio and everything's just painted green and you're trying to imagine what's around you. You never really know what that's going to look like until you see the final version of that movie. So I think that's actually why a lot of actors in those big budget Hollywood sort of like blockbuster Marvel movies, what they're doing is so impressive because it's like 99% just their imagination, having to picture like the landscape around them, whether they're like it's a space setting or a big huge battle setting, and having like an actual built set around you. It does make your job a lot easier as an actor. It's for no other reason than you just have to imagine less. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, a physical set versus just like a tennis ball on a stick kind of interaction with things. Yeah. Yeah. Are you telling me there's not a huge special effects spectacular in Bunkheads? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of one way to interpret that. We have a couple of special effects. It's a quality production, but we're definitely not, turning half the universe into dust or anything like that.
Looking back now that it's out and everyone's been able to see it and you've been able to watch it yourself, is there anything that you would have liked to have done differently during the shoot, or do you think this all comes together as what it was set out to be? I
think. I'm really happy with how it came out. First of all, I think as an actor, it's hard to not be critical of yourself and your own performances. Mm-hmm. Like the first time I watch something that I'm in, it's always just like, oh, that's weird. That's a mistake. Why did I do that? I look like I'm not even paying attention here. Like I don't look like I'm a good actor at all. But nobody else really watches things that way, or very few people do anyways. And even if they are looking for like actor mistakes, they don't know me personally. personally, so it's hard for them to tell what's an acting choice and what's me just sort of getting caught not quite in the moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, yeah, the more I watch something that I've been in, the more I enjoy it. And I have to, Bunkheads, I think it came out great. I think the only thing I would change is honestly just more of what's already there and what's already good about it. You know, it'd be fun to see just more character interactions, more jokes, more everything.
Is there going to be a second season, or do you not know yet?
So I don't have any official word on that. The plan is to definitely do more. And I think part of, you know, when we saw, especially when Gabe noticed how the viewership is just kind of growing and growing organically, he's like, well, you know, we always hoped we would do more, but if people aren't watching it or there's no interest, it's kind of hard to do that. And so now we're really, I think, it's getting more and more likely that it will happen. I can't say for sure that it will.
Was this a crowdfunded project, or was this a studio-funded endeavor?
I believe they did a little bit of crowdfunding, but it was mostly just independently funded, sort of like I said, gave Lauren and Will a passion project for them, and I think they took a lot of their own money out of their own pockets to make this happen.
When you have a situation like that, it seems like the attention to detail and the passion is usually a lot more intense on something that your own money's on the line than it is with a studio project. Did you feel that was the case as you were seeing it unfold?
I mean, in terms of, it never felt like more pressure on us. They, you know, Gabe especially, but everyone involved were just professionals, and they did their jobs really, really well. And maybe they felt more of the pressure, but that was never sort of transferred onto us as actors or anything like that. I think, you know, it can go one of two ways. There's plenty of extremely passionate people in the world, but passion doesn't always make good work, unfortunately. Just passion alone. You need skills and help and just lots of people around you and a little bit of luck as well. And I think Bunkheads had all of those things, which is awesome.
And it's currently available on Amazon Prime as we speak?
Yeah, I believe if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, it's included in your subscription. But, you know, if you just go over to Amazon and you look up Bunkheads, it should be there, and all the options as to how to watch it should be, you know, right on your screen.
Is there an option for people that want to purchase it in a physical medium, or is it strictly streaming?
I believe we're streaming only at the moment, but, you know, like anything, the more people watch it and the more demand there is, the more of those options will open up.
Awesome. For people that want to learn more about you, how did you get into acting? Where was your start in all this?
I have kind of a funny, well, I mean, I think it's kind of a weird story of how I got into acting. I basically grew up playing ice hockey in the Northeast. I grew up in Rhode Island, and that was like my dream. My goal my whole life was to be a pro hockey player someday. But I did that starting at 4 years old for about 11 and a half years or whatever it was. So I was in high school, and I was kind of just exhausted from year-round sports, and I wanted to try new things. And I got into acting. My friend, my best friend at the time, was in the drama class, and I was like, cool, I can hang out with him all day. I'll try that. And one thing led to another, and just sort of snowballed from there, and I never stopped. And that's pretty much it, how I got into acting, just randomly joining a class in high school.
What have been your favorite parts to play, or favorite movies in general that you've been in?
So Kip is definitely, I guess I would call it a favorite. It was definitely unique. I don't often play characters who are such big jerks. It's kind of against my own type a little bit. So it's always fun as an actor to play a character who's not like yourself at all. But he definitely has to go on the list. I'm in a movie called Found Footage 3D, which is a found footage horror movie about people who go off to make the world's first 3D found footage horror movie. And then basically the movie they're making starts actually happening to them. That's by Mark, the guy behind the camera. Every found footage movie needs one. That was a really cool role because I actually did get to operate the camera for a lot of that movie. Just because there's no way to not have me do that, the way those movies get shot a lot of the time. So that was a really cool experience, too, being sort of like this weird in-between cast and crew at the same time.
And my final question, for people that want to follow you or see what your next project is there any social media out there that people can tune into?
Sure, yeah. The best place to keep up with my acting stuff, I have a website. It's just chrisobryanofficial.com, and that'll kind of be your portal to whatever else you might want to see about me online. But, you know, I'm on Instagram. If you look for me, I think my handle is microbryan, MICROBRIEN, which is like an old nickname. Instagram's a great place to keep up with that stuff, too, which I should probably update more often than I do, but, you know, how it goes.
All right, man. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me about Bunkheads. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see what else you got for us in the future.